Humanity, the only known intelligence in the universe. Over billions of years, our species has evolved. Through countless generations, our lineage prevailed and ascended to intelligence. We are now on the precipice of designing intelligences of our own, of traveling beyond our world to colonize the stars, of becoming a global civilization of peace and prosperity for all being— Oh wait, no, I was reading the script for the parallel reality where Harambe didn't get shot. One sec. Earth C-187. Okay, it just says, GG guys, we had a good run. Wonder what it means by that. There's kind of a lot going on in the world at any individual moment. Mostly stuff that's terrible if the news is to be believed, but I will remind you, the news channels want you to watch them, so they're kind of incentivized to catastrophize everything. No one's passionately tweeting about how they just saw a news anchor saying, oh yeah, everything's fine, don't worry about it. No, they need to tell you how boned we all are, so you stay glued to your screen for all those juicy Viagra advertisements or whatever. I'm a zillennial, I watch YouTube, I don't know what actual TV is like anymore. Is it all AI generated now? I'll give it a couple of years, I think half the boomers wouldn't notice. Anyway, it does kind of feel like things have been spiraling particularly hard for the last decade. Have you ever been late for work, so you didn't take a shower in the morning, so you felt gross, and then you crashed your car on the way to work, and then your boss got mad at you for being late, so then you buy an ice cream for lunch to make yourself feel better, but then it sits weirdly in your stomach, so you need to go take a dump, and then it turns into a bout of diarrhea that feels like it's going to last about 35 minutes, which is a problem because 7 minutes in, the office fire alarm goes off, and then you have to come home covered in shit stains having been rescued by a fireman, and when you push all the unpaid bills away to open the door, you find that your wife and children were actually a hallucination the whole time and none of them ever existed. It feels like humanity has collectively been having a day like that for the last 10 years. We've got everything. We've got wars, nuclear weapons, pandemics, AI-controlled murder machines, climate change, pollution, corruption, eruptions, impending asteroid impacts. You know, call me a doomer, but I'm beginning to suspect we don't have an endgame plan for fucking anything! Could we hold it together for like, I don't know, another century, maybe? Just long enough to get some self-sufficient space colonies and biodiversity off the planet before we fucking annihilate it? You ever just stop and think for a second about how insane it is that there's an infinite universe literally right there, but we fight each other over patches of the floor? Like, yeah, I know there's all kinds of, whatever, geopolitical reasons to motivate conflicts, and logistically, getting up to space is hard. Whatever, you know what I mean? It's just a weird circumstance if you really think about it. Think about how many resources there are in space. If we suddenly had access to a single asteroid worth of precious metals, it would be so valuable it would crash the entire world economy. The potential amount of power and wealth available to humanity is literally astronomical. Once we have some infrastructure in space, we could literally disassemble entire planets for their resources. It's not as if there's anything living on them. We don't need to be massively more technologically advanced to do it either. With some solar or nuclear power, some automated mining drones, and some magnetic rail launchers, we could build a goddamn Dyson sphere. It's just about overall industrial capacity. We will get there, so long as we don't fucking self-destruct before we get there. We just have to exist for long enough for the few bits of technology we do need to develop to arrive and make it feasible. You know, ironing out full rocket reusability, figuring out optimal space habitat construction methods, nuclear fusion would definitely help, etc, etc. And yet, whilst we don't have those things and we're still vulnerable, we just love to edge our own extinction. I don't get it. Why the fuck? We're just like, well, a little bit of reducing a city to rubble over here, and a little bit of catastrophic climate disasters over here, and a little bit of AI to eliminate the need for human labor without providing any economic alternative for humans to survive over here, and maybe make sure we're very angry at each other at all times. Oh, the world's still too stable, let me throw one of these in there. Sorry to interrupt, this is just a quick message to say, statistically speaking, you're probably not subscribed, so I'll make you a deal. Press the subscribe button and I won't come over to your house and do this.
Hey, where are the white women at?
Alright, thanks. Back to the video. As a space guy, I have a bit of a wet spot in my pants for SpaceX. For me, that's because there's been all kinds of grand game-changing spaceflight ideas, but Starship is the only one that's really materialized. Any and all of these could have been great for helping to ensure that humanity survives, but this is the one that we have. The SpaceX community tends to be kinda divided on whether they specifically really support Elon Musk as a visionary, or whether they just kinda tolerate him and appreciate SpaceX engineers doing the actual hard graft behind the scenes. I've always tended to float around the tolerating him end of the spectrum, while giving credit where credit is due. There's a lot that gets said about him being technically important in the design of the vehicles and how much work he does and yada yada. I don't doubt that he has a good level of technical understanding and had some real design input and so on, but I can't help but think of him as like, I don't know how else to put it other than to say he's like the ideas guy. But I don't really mean that in a good way. You know, like, if there's like two friends and one guy can code and another guy can't, but the guy who can't code has an idea for an app, and no matter how many times the guy who can code subtly and politely declines, this friend will just not take the hint and shut the fuck up about how we should team up and make this app. And in cases like this, the app is always an idea that's completely retarded. Oh no man, it makes perfect sense. It's like Hulu, Grindr and Deliveroo all in one, except it also summons a grizzly bear whenever you use it or some shit. But the coding guy gets a gracious promise promise of a fair 10% of the profits, of course, because, you know, the rest should go to the ideas guy. I kind of feel like Elon Musk is the ideas guy, although I have misrepresented this slightly in that Elon did successfully achieve the 14-year-old Reddit atheist level of awareness that the species is ultimately doomed if we have all our eggs in one basket. To be fair, most people don't even get that far, so hey, credit where credit is due. It's a good idea to diversify our species off of the planet. He totally got that one very substantial, fantastic idea, and he employed some of the world's best engineers to work on the solution, but I don't think it has much bearing on everything else he does. Even the SpaceX mission plan itself is a bit weird. Like, you're prioritizing Mars over the moon, like you're not even interested in going to industrialize it and help the Mars journey be easier. You're not building orbital colonies of any kind. You're not nothing else, just Mars. Seems a little bit irrational to me based on how good these different solutions would be against Mars at preserving human existence, which is presumably the whole fucking point of doing this. Hopefully they sell these fucking things to companies and governments who will use them to make humanity as robust as possible as quickly as possible, rather than fixating on Mars for purely vibes-based reasons. Although I suppose my main complaint about Musk at this point really is that I wish he'd just fuck off with the politics and get back to doing space. He could have been a sort of feel-good Bob Ross of space, and now he's just an autistic shadow demon that haunts every news article. Since at least when he bought Twitter, this guy has fallen off completely. He's just a menace to humanity now, which sucks considering how this could have gone. But I digress. I don't know, why does it feel like the human species as a whole is just so desperate to not cooperate with itself whatsoever and go extinct before we can capitalize on the whole space angle, especially considering space is kind of an overarching solution to all of our problems if we can get over the initial huge difficulty hurdle. There's a few theories that society kind of goes in cycles of stability and instability. You know, there's like a crisis and then a collapse and then a rebuilding and flourishing and then stagnating and then crisis and collapse again, that kind of thing. There is the idea that that happens in set generational intervals. I'm not sure if that's total horseshit. It very well could be, but if it's true, I guess we've just moved from the fuck around period to the find out period. It's so frustrating to me since we are this close to what you guys realize we are functionally immortal as a species once we figure out space colonization, right? Can we just wait till then to obliterate the shit out of each other? Like 200 years would be a really pessimistic estimate. 50 might be enough. Stop killing each other and shitting up the Earth for no reason. Making sure the Earth's ecosphere is okay is an important part of this strategy. I know climate change has become political and everyone turned off their fucking brain about it, so there's probably no number of graphs I can show you to convince you it's happening and that humans are doing it if you're invested in the opposite being true. But whatever, even fairly optimistically, I'm pretty sure at this point the whole climate change thing is just going to have to be us fixing it after it happens anyway. It's annoying, we never seem to shut the fuck up about it, and yet the situation never gets any better. Just keeps getting worse. Man. Fuck it. Could we at least try to coordinate on not destroying literally the entire ecosphere? Not even for the sake of the animals. Like, humanity is gonna be reliant on being here to not fucking die for at least the next few hundred years. Like, we get our oxygen from here. Like, is it not in our own interest to not destroy our own source of oxygen? This is where thinking about space being right there is annoying again. Like, I wish we could figure out a way to just hold in the dirty industry like we're holding in a fart. Like, you can release as many spicy gases and oil spills and shit as you like. Just do it elsewhere. That stuff doesn't mean shit once we're doing it off-world. Just fuck up space instead. Like, here's a dramatic recreation of an oil spill on Titan. Oh no, spilled some oil. Oh no. It'll really affect the trout population. No, it won't. Oh wait, yeah, no, it won't. You see what I mean? How about a dramatic recreation of a nuclear war happening in space? Hey, did you hear what went down in the Jupiter planetary system? Oh no, what happened? Yeah, the Chinese and Indian colonies did a full exchange, like 400 nukes went off in space. Jesus Christ, that's terrible. How many people died? 8. I beg your pardon? 8. 8 people died in the nuclear war. What? Yeah, it turns out you can see incoming missiles from really far away when they're a bright glowing hotspot alone in the vastness of space. Looks like it wasn't hard for them to blow them up before they hit anything, although there were 8 guys having a gay orgy on a space yacht who got blown up, so... Okay, new rule, don't wake me up and tell me about nuclear wars unless the nuclear wars are actually serious. God damn it, I'm going back to sleep. Every Sunday there's something with you. Listen, I know this is a little rant with essentially no actual answers as to how we arrange the world geopolitically to not invert and shit itself, but god damn it would be nice to guarantee the continuation of conscious life in the universe indefinitely. You know, the thing that Musk goes on about ad nauseum despite seemingly doing everything it can to accomplish exactly the opposite. Hold on, do you think Elon Musk is doing a Dune Leto II thing and trying to be an insufferable, ever-present dipshit on purpose to such a degree that we all get so sick of him that we revolt and humanity becomes completely ungovernable and that was the plan all along? That would almost be smart. Maybe he was actually tweaking on spice at the inauguration. Is he gonna digimorph into a giant worm man? I need to stop going on tangents. My point is, we should blow the hell out of space. That didn't come out right. Think of how much crazy shit we could do in space. How many planets we wouldn't be meaningfully polluting with our industries because nothing lives there. I'm not against fossil fuels or pollution or war or anything that we typically consider dirty. I'm against doing them here. I'm against shitting where we eat. This is the only place for probably thousands of light years in every direction where there is anything on it that can suffer. And this place is fragile as shit. If any aliens land on Earth a billion years from now, they'll see a geological layer full of weird isotopes left behind by all the nukes we set off in the 20th century, mixed in with plastic Happy Meal toys and skeletons with breast implants. So I'm not giving any hard solutions in this video. In fact, what the hell am I saying? I guess I'm trying to give a recommendation. Global stability! Oh, turns out just saying it doesn't make it happen. I think that's what we could do with, though, at least for right now, given the amount of existential threats we're currently looking down the barrel of. That's what will make future generations look back on us and be proud, rather than looking down from the afterlife and thinking, well, I suppose that was probably predictable. Anyway, thanks very much for watching, guys. Like, subscribe, and join the channel if you want, and I'll catch you in the next one. Over and out.